Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid. I'm here with Sakane.
Hello, everybody.
And we are jumping back into new casting.
That's right. It
So
is
last turn was
turn.
a little slow. But yeah, it's turn 54, I believe.
That's right. But we
And,
have some. Long. We were expecting this.
right, it appears the nap with between Bogerus and Marignon has come to an end.
So we got a message about this from Bogarus a few turns ago. So now we get to see what the master plan was.
So let's see. We've got a battle here on top of... This looks like air elementals. Yeah.
Yep.
Now the risk of this is that the archers hit him, but it doesn't appear that's... Well, maybe.
Oh yeah, that is awkward. Well, he has his. That's just
there's
PE archers, right?
Yeah. And we're playing a different patch version, so it's possible they actually end up getting some of them. And that is a lot of air elementals. Like,
That are those mages air twos or air threes?
they're air 2, S1, astropelagists.
So that means they spent like 4 gems per. Like he did 8, so each one did 2 air elementals.
Yeah.
So he just spent. Yeah, they.
You can, by the way,
like,
get by doing this with only 3 gems. You don't need 4. If you give it 4, it'll use 4, but there's no point.
Well, you need. If you're air 2, you need 2 air gems to.
Oh, no,
summon
you
one of
are
those
right.
big
You are right. You are
elementals,
right. It's if you're air 3, yeah.
Yeah, if you're air 3, you only need the 1. And so.
Well, if you're air, yeah, if you're air 3, it's... I was thinking for fire elementals because you do firepower, but yeah.
Right, exactly. So he just spent 16 air gems. That seems a little excessive.
Yeah. But okay.
And yeah, okay. And I don't know if they were placed as far back as they could, but you definitely want to place them as far back because you don't want archers to kill them accidentally.
Bogerus attacking Marignon here with just a few heavy cav.
But I'm looking at the
I
map
wonder,
here.
are these... You think these are mercs? So you would think you would get... Are these better
Who's
than
the
Mali and
commander?
Drazina? The Knights Errant, yeah.
Yeah, those are mercs. Yeah, because he. Why would he build in the heavy cav?
Right. And then here... I tell you, I do like this super budget stuff he's doing. I mean, the air gems is a little excessive, but he's got these kind of cool little, little raiding
Bogers
squads.
has really nice combinations of mages that can do nice raiding, like little mini Hortoskeleton communions that we saw there.
Yeah.
And then air elementals are always good.
Yeah.
This is like another merc squad, right? The ghosty.
Maybe. I think he's actually recruiting these.
No, but those guys they were all like ethereal, fantastic. Oh no, that was
That was just
indies.
an indie event, yeah.
Okay, but importantly, he's trying to take
Oh my
Abyssia.
gosh. This is a big army.
Well, because it's got to siege down Abyssia, which
Right.
is a big fort. And so what he's done is he's raided all around, and he has his big army there to start sieging it down.
That is a lot of heavy cav. I don't know the last time I've seen this much heavy cav.
When you were playing me in Family Rumble.
Yeah. We did have some. Let's take a look at the communion, see what he's got. Slaves is 14. Okay. Let's take a
Seems
look
roughly
at...
balanced.
Yeah, they've got regen on
power.
them.
Yeah.
No reinvigoration, but not bad.
Now, gem usage might not have triggered, so he might have some
Right.
battlefield spells that didn't go off.
So this fort is 750, and this is a 400... So this should be a 2-turn crack, depending on how much is in there.
But Marignon has run away from the Utgard front and is, it seems, going to try to defend this with
Right.
a big old stack.
That is a lot of guys. And he's going to have time to get there. If he moves here,
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to move here. But if he moves here, he will be able to defend.
And I was thinking, and the other issue in this situation is if you just kind of barrel through to go and save that fort, which is like
good move.
Like it's a worthwhile province
Right.
to keep, right? It's got a lot of gems, a lot of income. But the issue is you can get like the opponent, in this case Bogarus, can raid around you and cut off your retreat. So if you do fail on the major attack, or if he has wailing winds or something, and if you've cut off all your retreat paths, that can be devastating. But in this case, Marignan, I think, has enough to also like secure a retreat path behind him, right? So
and we see fallen angels here too. So he's I think this is our first time seeing fallen angels, right?
Well, that's why we were looking before we started this recording. I was looking at previous turns, and I saw him use them against Utgard. So I think we have seen them, but in just solo raiding. Anyways, I like this move from.
Yeah, I think Marignan is outgunning Bogarus significantly here because he's got this squad to deal with raiders. He's got this to, especially if he deals with supply issues that this army is undoubtedly going to cause. I mean, he's got an enormous army, which I think will crush this.
I think so. Well, on paper, I do think this looks good, but I'm just saying in general, in this kind of situation, you gotta watch out.
The problem, though, especially like this, is you get in predictable moves. Like when you give... I mean, they're both having predictable moves. The predictable move for Bogarus is he's got a huge army here. He wants to siege this down. So the predictable move is to stay.
Yeah.
And the predictable move for Marignan is to move, which means they can both mess with each other, potentially.
Yeah. Well, like, for example, Bogarus should gem bait in that mountains in between the two of them.
Right.
Because that's for sure going to be the target. And he might not know, depends if he has scouts or not, but he should know, like, does Marignan's army have gem gen items or not? Because if they don't, then you definitely want to gem bait. I don't know if they're playing with your mod or not.
Yeah, I think they are.
But that's, like, the reason why you want to get those items. And then, I mean, we'll see next turn, but Bogarus can even dance around and, like, if he's not feeling confident, or if he sees, for example, that Marignan is starving, then he can wait out even longer, right? Get even more troops to starve. But anyways, we'll see. We haven't seen a big confrontation there yet. Looks like he fought underwater too, but it didn't work.
Oh my goodness. There were a lot of Ictids here. Yes. But some Royal Navigators. Or no, these are just chart makers, the water randoms.
But they have
rings of water breathing and a water bracelet.
Uh-huh.
And this guy's got the temp gem.
3 water gems. That's what we like to see.
Oh, buddy. Hope you brought a lot of Ictids.
There's not a reasonable amount of Ictids that's going to beat that many water elementals.
Oh my gosh. It's a disaster.
Yeah. All right, well played.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, nothing else really. If we look at just Marignan, what was or
I'm gonna zoom up. Yeah, I think we're done with Marignan.
Oh, actually, no, there is something weird. So I remember this was a while ago, guys. We kind of didn't record for a bit, but Atlantis was kind of running through Gath, and we thought he was going for that underwater throne. But he sailed across and is taking that very rich province that used to be Ulm's.
Oh yeah, the fake cap.
That should have been Utgard. That ended up being Marignan's, but now Marignan has run away from and given up all that land. And it looks like Utgard is taking back one of the forts, but Atlantis has snuck in there and is going to try to take that other one.
That is hilarious. That's really
That is... he must have some kind of diplomatic...
Yoink.
Because I don't see why either Utgard or Ulm wouldn't turn around and take that back. And in fact, it's not like Atlantis doesn't even border them anywhere else. Like, Atlantis is a big, scary player.
Right.
So if you're a small player like Utgard or Ulm, you don't necessarily want to pick a fight with them. But what's Atlantis going to do? Like, go through Raga
he can put a fort, he takes it, takes the throne, puts a fort underwater, and then just keeps his army around here. This province is going to pay for the upkeep of this whole army.
Probably, but like Ulm could cut him off on land. Like I'm saying, if I were Ulm, I don't know if I would. I don't know what my diplomatic situation is with Marino and stuff like that. But if I'm at peace and Atlantis pulls that off, even though Atlantis is a much bigger power than me, I would feel comfortable sort of taking that on and cutting him off on land.
I mean, I kind of would, but like, look how big these armies are. Like in principle, I 100% agree with you, but in practice, if he's going to commit these armies to holding it, then,
let's take a look. Yeah. Let's take a look at the fight to see what Atlantis has here. Oh, it's 4. Are those the cat mages? No, they're just regular. Yeah, they are.
These are the cat mages. So he's got.
All right, so that's actually kind of scary.
The fuck. Looks like a Wind of Deathcaster. This guy, Stygian Rain, I guess. This guy, I'm not sure. I don't see the death. This is the only death heir, but you normally give the death heir a skull staff to do Wailing Winds.
Yeah. That's Stygian Rains. I mean,
so I don't know.
The thing is, so it's fall now. So no matter what Ulm's scales are, and this is close to Utgard too, so it's likely to be cold anyways. So those ice guards are going to have insane protection. That being said, I mean, it's Ulm. You've got like, I don't know, would crossbows, like flaming arrow crossbows versus Stygian Rains ice guards in cold 3?
I mean, that's going to be a hard fight.
So I would
think
say
it goes Atlantis unless Ulma has special stuff they're going to cast.
Not only that, but like the numbers matter too. Like normally you expect like, okay, like 50 to 100 ice guards is a large army, but then you're like, oh, but it's Ulm. They could have 300 crossbows, but he's got 158 ice guards.
And these are the shield variety, so they'll do very well against crossbows.
Yeah. So crossbows may be not the thing. I don't know. Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe he's conceded that to
I'm going to zap us up here to Raga real quick. This is the Necromancer event, I think.
Yeah. Which is always annoying, but I guess not so annoying when you have Zeadens.
Okay, but some of these are going to be decayed from the Banes. Let's see what happens.
When they get decayed, I guess it's just the dude that dies, but the bird stays.
I don't know. What ended up happening here? He lost the Zedaean, and that was dead for good. Okay.
So I guess not. Good to know, guys. If you're ever fighting Raga.
Okay, I think we've seen most of this. Oh, we got a battle here with Joman that we hadn't seen. He's storming the last of the Joman forts.
Yeah.
These eparchs don't really have any arrow catchers in front of them, which is a little concerning.
Yeah.
Or wolf catchers, really.
Yeah, catching anything.
Okay, this is good. So he's got flaming arrows. Did he also get Strength of Giants? No. I thought I saw that. So he's caused the rout of the archers.
Yeah. I think he would have been better off, because those are archer cavalry, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, he lost a lot of his mages.
He almost routed, man. He only has one commander left at the end. Or no, he had three eparchs. Yeah.
But see, given that he has 36 archers and 57 crossbows, I think you need to use those. I think you need to use those archers as those cavalry archers as cavalry, not as archers.
Yeah, probably.
In this context. Because the problem with archery in fort battles is that it really takes a long time to kill all the archers up on the ramparts. And your dudes are just going to do that for a while, and then his mages can do whatever they want. And he had almost no troops there. So if you just run in with bad cavalry, he would have just killed all the mages. And
I mean, you don't know what he's going to cast, though. Like, potentially Swarm and Earth Elementals. That could have really killed all the cav, actually. But yeah,
maybe. But the time that it took for them to just shoot their bows at nothing, he lost like a bunch of mages.
Yeah.
Or you split it. I guess it depends on the numbers. Anyways,
Yeah.
he wraps
Anyway, it's
it
an
up.
option.
Yeah, he wraps it up, and Jomin's dead now, right?
Yeah. Yarg, I'm a pirate. God of Jomin has been permanently vanquished. If you're rooting for Jomin to win, pour one out.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Jomin, who's now been eliminated?
I mean, I think Jomin is an okay nation if you don't get underwater. It's got some weaknesses, but it's playable. Wait, let's go. Where's Jomin? Jomin's over here. No. Where the hell is Jomin? Jomin's down here. Okay. So, it's an okay nation. But it kind of comes online, in my opinion, a little later, because you need a lot of infrastructure, because they got slow to recruit mages with the... I forget whichever ones. The astral guys with a bunch of randoms.
Yep.
So you need a lot of infrastructure for those. You've got okay troops, but they're not great. And they're going to have all the issues human troops tend to have in the mid and late game. But by the mid and late game, you're going to have all the buffs with your mages. So, they have that going for them. But the only really good thing they have going for them, kind of... I mean, you could argue more. You could argue they have more going for them in the mid game. But the main thing they have going for them in the mid game is the Ryujin.
It strikes me that they're kind of similar to Bogerus in that they have like some decent troops, not like the best troops, but they have good troops, and they have like a nice selection of human mages that can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that start to really, they've got good communions, good magic diversity, starts to shine in the mid late game when you can get all the buffs.
Yeah,
but it's like, how do you get there? Especially, and there's a whole water thing, but even if we forget Ryujin, they're kind of like...
well, I mean, that's my main feedback, is he didn't really have a plan to get underwater. Like, his plan to get underwater was get lucky with a national hero. Which, normally, the like, meta thing to do for Jomin is to get an expander that can go underwater. But, I mean, you can do it different ways. You get that. We talked about it at length. But, you get a Titan go underwater with gear. If you're really clever, you can actually get a Master Shugenja to go underwater with fluffing himself pretty early. But, Atlantis was aggressive, and Atlantis was like, yep, we're just going to get in this lake, and we're not going to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And because he got in there quickly, and Jomin didn't, Jomin couldn't really defend himself in the lake system. And then, like, you look at Jomin's position when he's got an Atlantis that's basically can raid from the ocean anytime he wants, and then can attack from the north. It's not pretty. So
Jomin also did not have success fighting Satis.
Right. That turned out to be a very painful endeavor that never finished. And we never figured out exactly what happened. If it was assassins or what. But
yeah, I mean, I suspect assassins certainly played an important role there.
But okay,
right.
Let's move on. Turn 55 next. Okay. A dire portent. Prove too hot as ice, the fickleness of flames. Wait, what was this?
So that is
Eternal
Raga
Pyre,
putting up Eternal Pyre.
Interesting.
Only the second global by turn 55.
Yeah, a little slow. So let's figure out what happened here with Atlantis, because we have a bunch of action in the Atlantis Thunderdome.
So Atlantis must have stormed that fort, which had nothing in it. And then his reinforcing army didn't sail across, it just went and took the throne.
Yeah.
Which was an easy throne to take anyways.
Okay, so here he's got a big mage corps. This is in the reinforcing army.
Yep.
A lot of Frozen Heart being cast.
This is like the underwater throne equivalent of a militia throne.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
So he probably didn't even need the water elementals, but maybe he didn't ping it first, so he wasn't sure what was there.
Yeah. So, okay, so he's got that, and he's got this, and he's got this. This is very interesting. And it gets at one of the ways you can play underwater, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen this, Zach. Have you ever seen underwater nations go full satellite mode where they get every single lake on the map?
And then they just turtle in those lakes, and they can raid from them, and nobody can ever do anything.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I mean, it hasn't happened.
I never did that in Bumble Rumble, for example.
Well, there weren't really lakes to do that from, I think, on that map.
There might not have been, but I definitely didn't do it. But
yeah, no, there were. Yeah, because I was thinking of that game. I was thinking, well, you were pretty much across the whole map, but that wasn't because of satellites.
Yeah,
there weren't lakes on that map, but yeah, that can happen for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a relay player do it, and you'll just see them. I think I've seen it twice with relay players. Once they had a vastness, and they would just send the vastness. They didn't. I don't even know if they bothered scouting who was in the lake. They're just like yoink, yoink, like whoever has it, we don't even give a fuck. We're taking it, and then they just put a fort up. Good luck, come and get it.
Yeah,
and then with the lab, they can gateway troops in.
Sure, I mean with relay that actually works very, very well because who's going to siege relay underwater, right?
Right. And they have teleporters too. So, like 4 or 5 of the star spawn teleporting in, summoning water elementals or what have you, that can clear almost anything, and nobody's ever expecting it. Like out of the blue, 4 star spawn TP in.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a great way to get access to thrones, even if in this case the throne it happens to be underwater.
Right.
But it can, like if we look here, on this map, well, okay, look at the northern lake that now Ulm controls. If you go just north of that a little bit, it borders a throne.
Right.
And if we go south to the little Marignan, the eastern Marignan Sea, or I guess north more from there, there's a throne to the formerly Utgard, then Marignan, and now Raga throne. Kind of to the northeast of your current map.
Sorry, I'm busy sneezing up a storm over here. Oh, this one, okay.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of the other one, the one on land.
Oh.
East.
This one. No?
No, but that one too. Like, see, all these thrones, actually it's funny, they're never the ones that I'm thinking of, but they all fit the description, which is they're either underwater or coastal.
Let's just count how many provinces are left underwater that Atlantis could get. He get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think I counted this one. 13, 14, 15. Did we count? We might have double counted those.
I don't think so. Well, it's on the order of, 12 to 15.
Yeah. That's like eating a whole nother nation, and it's almost completely uncontested. A lot of being underwater, you can really just be a dick. Like... You just like, what is somebody gonna do? I mean, there's not much they can do. What you're a little worried about, like, and this is, I think, some of the negotiation is if people like if a lot of times there'll be a balance of somebody has some stuff on land, and there's a precarious piece because they know I might be able to take their stuff on land, but they could get my water. So.
Yeah. Well, also, LA Atlantis is a bit different because they are underwater, but they still have their cap on land and a lot of land holdings.
Right.
So, like, if you get Raga pissed at you in this game, that's... I mean, it would be... I'm not saying Raga would beat them necessarily, but then that's something you have to deal with. You're not completely immune. But in general, if you're playing underwater, be a dick.
But look, you
heard it here first.
He could, like, especially Marignon's stuff... He doesn't even have a land border with Marignan. He just...
just go for it.
Just go for it.
Well, which seems to be what he's doing.
Right.
So, all right.
All right.
Anything else, if we look at the messages that we might have missed?
Okay, we've got some stuff happening in Marignan Bogerus.
Right.
So we've got fallen angels moving out. Okay, pretty typical Phoenix Pyre kit. I've seen these guys work pretty well, and people love them. I'm like, they're kind of okay in my book.
They're okay. Let's click on it just to see the stats. So, it's sacred but not blessed.
Right.
But he's Marion, so he might not have like a super relevant bless.
Right.
I find the problem with them is they have invulnerability built in, which makes you think, like invulnerable 25, you think, oh my god, this thing is super tanky. But actually, against magic weapons, like it's only like 18 or whatever, 19 protection. In this case, I mean, he's got a defense build.
Yeah.
With that armor. And regen, because he's got a... Does he have a ring? No, he doesn't even have a ring of regen. He's just relying on Soul Vortex. So they've only got like 80 hit points. There's a lot of stuff, like if you have a thug, like a much cheaper thug, they can kind of kill them.
I mean, I think the idea is these guys are more... They're not really thugs. They're supposed to be super combatants. But...
Yeah, but I don't trust a super combatant that has less than 100 hit points. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's Phoenix Pyre. The idea is Phoenix Pyre Soul Vortex, right? Which is
fair enough.
But I'll just say I've only had to fight because I don't know. Like you don't see L.A. Marignon pick that much, and you don't see him. I mean, it's pretty cool that we're getting to watch L.A. Marignon get to the point where they get Fallen Angels, because a lot of times for whatever reason it doesn't work out. I've only fought against Fallen Angels once, and I was in the All Stars game, and I probably have killed 50 of these guys, and they did like almost no damage. But it's kind of like if you're trying to fight them with conventional armies, they're gonna like murder. They're very good at fighting conventional armies.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of get over that and you're like, okay, well, if we think there might be a fallen angel there, let's not use a conventional army. Then they kind of get wrecked.
How much do they cost?
They're expensive, I think, or kind of. I think they're like 90 something. We'd have to check. They're near 90. They might, if they're 130, I would be surprised. That would be too expensive, I think. I think they're.
I mean, I guess to me, they're like expensive and good, and they're expensive not just because they're expensive to summon, but also you have to gear them with like high quality gear, right? So
yeah, kind of. I mean, they could. Yeah, I mean, they can honestly be used kind of naked, but I don't think you want to. I think they're expensive enough where it's worth putting some gear.
Well, I guess that's a dilemma with an expensive summon that's pretty high quality, is that they can kill a standard army like almost naked with Soul Vortex, Phoenix Fire. So the issue is, how do you protect them against not a standard army? Or in this case, what happens here?
So he's getting Ghost Script. So he has Phoenix Pyre,
but he's fatigued.
He's fatigued out.
So Death Mages,
Okay, so in this case he dies. I think he actually won this fight though. Oh no, he did die.
Yeah, he just dies.
Yeah, so there we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about.
These are like Death 1 mages killing it, or Death 2 mages killing it.
He's got 4 occultists in like a tiny ass communion. They make a few skeletons. He jumps back here. He's at 9 fatigue, so like everything's going perfect so far.
Gets Ghost Grip.
Freaking wrecked by Ghost Grip, and he's paralyzed. It's paralyzed him, and it's hit his fatigue.
And you'd think like you're doing all the right things. Like you've got Fire Shield, so you think, oh, I'm good against skeletons. I'm a flyer. I'll just attack rear, right? I don't have to wade through.
That way, I'll kill the mages. I won't get locked up with the skeletons.
Yeah.
Completely wrecked, and like minus all that gear. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This battle here summarizes how I feel about Fallen Angels. They can be very good, and I mean, you can go kind of to town critiquing, maybe he should have done this or done that in terms of the gear, but
well, it's easy to come up. Relatively easy to come up with a specific set of gear that could have protected him in that specific instance.
Right.
But the problem is, would that set of gear have protected him from, let's say he had a small army with a bunch of air elementals,
Right.
or like a small army with a bunch of soul slay, a tiny soul slay
Right.
communion, or whatever, like the million
Yeah.
other things that Bogarus can throw at you.
Right. Exactly. Now, interestingly, Marignon chose not to move out. They're like, we're going to keep Heidi holed up in here.
But looking at the fort, can we tell the
No.
fortification? No. 'Cause
We
he
just know
might,
it's not cracked yet. But
right, but he might know that it's going to take him more than 2
Right.
turns.
okay. So, Ulm
moved
has
on.
reattacked. After a brief cessation of hostilities, he's got a lot of fortune tellers. There's a lot of
them.
mages. Holy shit.
I think that's all the mages. And Ulm,
It's
interestingly,
all the mages.
it is all the mages.
Bring
and
me
Ulm,
all the mages. All of them?
Yeah.
All
he
of
moved
them.
away. Yeah, more. He moved away from Atlantis. Remember, we were wondering if he was going to contest that fort that Atlantis took.
Yeah.
No, he had troops bordering there, and then he's moved
Yeah.
them away into his cap.
Now, interestingly, this fort has been popped by Bogarus. And he's got some astropelagists and just a bunch of skeletons. But, I mean, he's got no chance of taking this, really. But it does cut off troop movement from this fort coming south to potentially block Ulm here. Now, interestingly, Ulm has not popped this palisade, which means there's a
huge
metric
army.
shit ton of troops inside.
Yeah, because that's only a palisades. So Marignon kind of doesn't have a choice. He has to kind of zerg up and clear Bogarus
Right.
this turn so that he can contest Ulm next turn.
And it's not, I can see how Marignon's feeling a little pressure now, because he's no longer, he's fighting Ulm, who's now about the same size as him. Let's look at the score graphs. Ulm, oh, we don't have the last few turns, but he shrunk. He's probably like down here now for provinces. So he's about the same size as Ulm. Anyway.
And Bogarus, who's bigger.
Yeah, and Bogarus is bigger. So this would be pretty stressful. But he's got some cool tools, so let's see what happens. Maybe we should call it for this episode, and we'll pick up next time.
Yeah, let's do that. See you guys in a bit.